Do you have the Djinn or the Hat Man inside of you? If you're here, you're meant to hear this message. We opened a portal through paper called the Looking Glass live on TikTok. A portal in the Looking Glass reveals things that we cannot see with our eyes. Our eyes are like holograms and we can only see a very small percentage of truth. So we open a portal and we see the truth, and we see that you have soul sickness and you have the Djinn and the Hat Man affecting and infecting not only you but your children. So let's go and look at conventional truths about the Djinn and how the Djinn use telepathy for mind control. But also I'm going to give you a little bit of hope from what I understand and what I have learned about the Djinn. I'm going to use some allegories of movies and shows in order to help you to understand. The Djinn is known as the genius and the genie. It's not surprising that our Bible begins with the Djinn, Genesis, and that the Gentile is half Djinn, half reptile. So there's some kind of something about our genes and the Djinn. So let's talk about Sirius Black, the dog. And he said that we have both light and dark within us. We are born with a Djinn inside of us. When we look at allegories of certain famous movies, we see that Sirius Black, the dog, was actually Sirius B, the dog star. He was a dog. And this is a star system. He was Harry's god and father. He went to Azkaban for 12 years. Azkaban in Gematria actually comes to the number 12. And it parallels with prison planet. So there's something about being in a prison planet and being part of God and having to fight our way out of a prison. So King Solomon had a ring, and you have this ring in your art, and this ring controlled the Djinn. And the Djinn stole the ring from King Solomon and began to control people instead of people controlling the Djinn. If this story is true, I don't know, but I do know or do seem to see allegories and truths of Osiris, King Solomon, that we have a piece of Osiris's body within us that we must heal, very much like Harry Potter had to heal or kill the Voldemort within him because Voldemort left a piece of his soul inside Harry. It's almost as if we all have the Djinn inside of us that we must fight. So most of the Djinn live in a world parallel to us humans. They can see us, however, we are out of sight. We cannot see them to the average human. And the average human has lost their own psychic abilities to communicate with the spirit realm. They say that we are simply a meat suit, locked and lost in a vortex of material possession through which their actual body energy is drained and siphoned slowly, and our louche and our spirit and our true self is being eaten by the Djinn. So they say that the Djinn lives on Mount Kof and their capital is Emerald City. And I find it very interesting that their capital is Emerald City because Emerald City reflects Osiris. Oz, Iris. Oz is Osiris, and Iris is the goddess of the rainbow. So the 7 colors of the rainbow, Dorothy, the Yellow Brick Road, and Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene is associated with Oz, Iris, and Emerald City. She is known as the Emerald Shepherdess. So this Osiris, Mary Magdalene, Harry Potter, Sirius B, the dog star, they are all talking about, and Alice in Wonderland, they're all talking about this battle between Voldemort and Harry, the reptilian wicked witch, and Dorothy, and dominating a lower self in order to recreate ourselves as new people. According to Islam, every human is born with a Djinn. And so this Djinn causes the person to do bad things or sin. And in order to understand sin, we have to understand the goddess of the moon. Her name was Sin. And that Dorothy met 3 parts of herself that reflected sin, shame, ignorance, and narcissism. But fighting the Djinn within us is very difficult. But if we can dominate the Djinn within us, we can use the Djinn to transform our lives and merge water with fire. Basically, you are water and the Djinn is fire. There are dark ways to control the jinn and white ways. The black magic is the easy way, but it is not a good way. And the white magic is through self-enlightenment and transformation. The Egyptians talk about souls being chosen to be transformed into a greater being of jinn, which merges human body with a jinn in order to become a better person. The boy who lived come to die. So the story of Harry Potter or Dorothy Gale or Jesus Christ are all the exact same story. Jesus Christ equals 11, Harry Potter equals 11, Dorothy Gale equals 11. Harry was 12 when he left to go to a mansion of many rooms. Jesus was 12 when he left, and he said his father's house is a mansion of many rooms, like Emerald City. So we have to understand Osiris being the Voldemort, basically, that is within us, the jinn within us that we must defeat. And in order to defeat it, we have to die. So the Gospel of Philip says that it is incorrect that Jesus died and then resurrected. It is more correct to say that Jesus resurrected and then died. So this is what I'm seeing in your art as well. And let's talk about how to resurrect and how to heal and how to dominate this jinn. Otherwise, it will kill you. So we see in the center of your piece, you in bed with two sons, and this is soul sickness. We see at 12 o'clock a blue bird, a pretty little blue bird like Dorothy who wore a pretty little blue dress. And the bird is half bird, half Holy Spirit, half jinn. And this jinn has a bottle that is opening. And what happens is we have to make a choice. It's like a precipice in our lives where either the jinn will overtake you or you overtake the jinn. Now, let's look at 9 o'clock. There's a seal and there's a ring. This is the Solomon. This is the seal. Now, they say that the Holy Spirit is a flame and that this flame will dominate and put a seal over your heart with water. And this seal will protect you from the spirit eaters and those who mean to detain you and basically eat your energy, eat your loosh, and cause mind control over you and your life and your family. So let's look at the individual at 7 o'clock and 5 o'clock. There's a heart and it's like a mirror. And it says in the Bible that living waters will pour from our heart. There's someone at 5 o'clock with a frequency fork and facing it toward the heart chakra, electromagnetic energy coming and emitting from the heart chakra. This is the heart dominating the head, really kind of crucifying the ego, crucifying our self-importance, crucifying all that is false, and going into truth, life, and light, and becoming nothing in order to become everything. It's like a baptism where your brain goes underwater, your head goes into your heart. And so this is a reflection of dying of our false self and awakening to our true self, which is light, joy, and power. There's a keyhole on someone's face. This is the key of Solomon. Now, this was your father, and your father says he had the Hat Man on him, dominating his head. So some of these curses are generational curses because they were never healed. And so you're here to heal it. You have two choices. You could die and have soul sickness, or you can heal it and get up and collect personal power and follow a higher self like a holy dove or a bird. The owl is the spirit of wisdom, and the spirit of wisdom is above you, and you are currently learning from the spirit of wisdom. It is the wisdom of understanding this dual reality like the two giant eyes of the owl. The letter AA on your dad's hat reflects archangel. There's someone beside your bed holding two clocks. This reflects two separate different timelines, two worlds. Osiris's body being cut 14 times, 7 pieces in one world, 7 pieces in another world. I do know that forgiveness and letting go is not a kind act, but we must forgive and let go and close our eyes to the matrix and focus on a heavenly realm, this kingdom of heaven that is within our hearts. According to your art, save yourself, and your children will also follow suit and feel that energy of light within them as well. Baptism isn't what we think it is. It's a process. You have many numbers in gematria, and I will put them in the comments for you. Joy is your highest strength against negativity and fear. Laugh at yourself, laugh at others, and listen to comedy to rise above it all.